Here we go. So, it's starting. It is. It's really loud. It is going to be best of 3 for the rounds. And then, yeah, the top 2 players are going to be playing a best of 5 with one who has the most points. They're going to be with a 1 map advantage. So this is going to be a lot of games, actually, despite the limited amount of players we have this week. It's going to be a lot of maps, a lot of matches overall. Good. I like seeing this activity. Oops. Why is the sound so bad? Okay, I had 3 windows open. Oops. Robcorv is melting. Is that why you're not here? I don't blame you. I'm also melting. No, for sure. I think this is fine. I think really this is fine given how many participants we have this week. I think this is fine. Probably doing this kind of a thing when it comes to a you know, like a thing. What am I trying to say? Oh my god, my brain is just melting. Like if there's gonna be, like, you know, tons of players, probably kind of impossible to do such a format, because it just ends up taking, like, you know, the entire day, or in my case, the entire night. But overall, I think it's fine. Anyways, Breakage versus Georgie, 2 great players. We saw them last week as well. They put on a really good show. Georgie came really close to eliminating Breakage in the lower bracket, but in the end, did not go his way. So Georgie definitely has he's got some skills. Yesterday doesn't exist, yeah. Yesterday actually doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember anything from yesterday. Not true though. I was a bit tipsy. I was not that tipsy. Yeah, I ended up missing yesterday's Stody as well. I didn't even get to see, like, what was I didn't even get to see a single game, actually. Very disappointing. But yeah, it was probably streamed on Church of Quake. It was probably streamed elsewhere. I can rewatch it when I have the time. Exile is going to be the first map that we're going to be watching when it comes to Breakage versus Georgie. Breakage has banned Visor. Georgie picking Strogan Peeker, and Breakage going for BJ. Not really surprising. Both players are both players like to play medium champions. Strog, of course, very strong. BJ is pretty good on Exile as well. Just overall solid picks on both players. Ruins is Sarnath. Georgie is banning Anarchy. Breakage going for Galena, and Georgie himself picking a Ranger. Relatively slow champions given the size of the map, but still Georgie admittedly has a definite advantage when it comes to the individual fights, but I do wonder if you know, how significant actually has the change for Galena has been when it comes to the totem buffs, because one of the things was that, yeah, it was increased in terms of damage, went from 40 to 50. That's like when you touched the totem as an opponent. And the other, I think, more important matter is that the Galena totems are now significantly harder to destroy. And I played a couple duels myself. Found out that, yeah, it's actually really easy to end up in a situation where you try to, you know, hit your opponent with the LG, then the totem comes out mid-fight and like half your LG just goes into the totem, making, you know, you lose the fight in the end. It's another element that we have to keep in mind. No DK on ruins. Are we watching NA? Yeah, that's also really surprising. No DK. Although Anarchy is playing, and I'm pretty sure he's the one who's always picking DK on ruins. So we'll get to see that. We'll get to see that, don't you worry. As I say that, there's the Death Knight. It's gonna be played on Corrupt Keep though. So yeah, that's gonna be the picks and bans. Breakage, if he's gonna be able to get the triple totems up on Ruins of Sarnath, I think he's in a pretty good position, but again, that's a pretty big if. You gotta work hard for that. And as we've seen, Georgie, when he gets in your face, he can absolutely just annihilate his opponent. New DK is kind of irritating in insta jib. Yes, I said jib. Well, here we are.
Round begins in.
Guess we're gonna be starting out on Georgie. He's playing Strogan Peeker, immediately tries to go for the rocket launcher, but oh, beautiful rockets there by Breakage, wasting no time whatsoever. Taking quite a long time to actually take down the Peeker there. Ends up wasting all of his rockets. Georgie not in a terrible position, but he was still railable. And now he's very susceptible to a spawn frag. He does get the heavy armor. Good rocket. But the LG doesn't really connect, so still 3-0 for Breakage. Breakage is connecting rail after rail. And he's doing a pretty good job of keeping his opponent at a comfortable distance. He knows that Georgie just doesn't have the weaponry really to contest that. Amazing rocket into some more rails. Beautiful execution. Really good.
Stopwatch.
It's gonna be a mega health for Breakage, but it's immediately denied by Georgie's rail. And there we go, Georgie now starting to connect some rails of his own. The dual wield was used, but to little effect. Georgie now in a pretty good position to contest the heavy as well. Unfortunately, does end up going to Breakage, but still, some damage done. Ooh. This is potentially very dangerous for Georgie to re-peek. He's still gonna do it and hit the rail. 55 health, and he's not afraid to still show his face after all that Breakage has done with the railgun. Beautiful rockets on 1 health. Taking some revenge for last week, I suppose. Stuck in the corner, pushed into a terrible position there by Breakage LG. Georgie actually going for a straight fight immediately afterwards. That's not gonna give even enough damage really to put him in a comfortable position for the upcoming fight. Dual wield used, Peeker also used. Georgie actually just making a run for it, but double backs into good rockets. 6-3 now. Perhaps that fight immediately after the spawn wasn't as bad as I initially thought. It did delay Breakage just a little bit, where he did not feel confident just to drop his body onto heavy, and in the end, it allowed Georgie to get a good positioning. Talking about good positioning, continuous stream of LG, nothing really Breakage can do about. Peeker is available. Georgie is pretty well off in terms of weapons, but no rockets, tries to re-peek and goes down in the end. A very good push there by Breakage. Goes through the telly, but the super nail gun, unfortunately for Georgie, not connecting. Now it's gonna be a very hard fight to win. Probably he's gonna be backing off. We can see him going for the rail, picks up the light armor as well. But Breakage setting up a trap, even pops the dual wield. That's 2 rails. One is returned by by Georgie. Both players now railable. Georgie is not in time to contest the mega health though. Breakage now playing very conservatively. Not taking any risks whatsoever. He suspects Georgie might be coming from the upper parts. No rail connects though, but still, Breakage in the lead with a 4 frag advantage.
Stop using up my ammo, Fritz.
Overall, pretty good engagement for Breakage there. Did have to expend quite a lot of resources for it, and that's not gonna allow him to contest the next heavy armor, but still. Frag is a frag. He's still in the lead. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful rocket spam there, completely denying Georgie the ability to mount the offensive there. Breakage, however, still sitting next to heavy. There's a lot of super nail gun. It's very easy to underestimate just how much damage the super nail gun can really do. And the peeker comes out, but unfortunately for Georgie, he was still visible around the corner. Easy kill for Breakage there. 3.5 minutes remaining. More rocket spam coming out. Georgie not taking any risks anymore after that last fight near Mega. Breakage just keeps connecting rails. That's actually ridiculous. 75% rail on Breakage. Beautiful rocket on Georgie. Gets him the mega health as well. He's on the chase. Doesn't have a railgun, which complicates matters just a little bit. He is going to go and collect it right now. Both players firing rockets, but no one connecting so far. That's one rail for Georgie. 2 rails for Georgie. Mega health picked up. And there we go. The kill comes out. Does Georgie know which spawn did Breakage get? A little confused at first, but this fight is not going well until the rail comes out. I think that was actually a delayed spawn by Breakage, which caused him to spawn much closer to the center part of the map than Georgie expected. It definitely threw him off. No contest there. When you're rocket connecting, your opponent has 2 LGs. That's a challenge. Georgie now starting to make these very aggressive pushes, and can you really blame him? It is only minute and a half left.
Best you got.
Breakage not even looking at the explosions. Still hitting stuff. That being said, he is out of rockets, but 16-8 with 1 minute remaining. This does not look like it's going to be possible for Georgie to come back. And yeah, with 30 seconds left, nothing Georgie can really do. 75% rail on Breakage. That's actually insane. I mean, it is Strog. Strog is a big boy. But still. Did not expect it to be so damn good. Well, that's Breakage 1-0 against Georgie. Predictions. Yeah, I should set up predictions. Map number 2, that is going to be Ruins of Sarnath, and I do believe Georgie has potentially the upper hand here. But we've also seen what happens when Breakage, when he goes on the defensive, he absolutely can just disappear, you know, from the sight of his opponent. And that might prove to be a problem for Georgie. The first couple of fights might prove to be decisive here. Right, predictions. I shall do the predictions.
Prepare to fight.
Portals taking me to damn stupid places with damn stupid.
Round begins again. 3, 2, 1. Fight.
Right. We're gonna be starting out on Breakage, playing Galena. We have an immediate engagement 10 seconds into the match. Breakage unable to actually pick up at the railgun, and he's gonna have his legs removed by Georgie. Oh dear, Breakage. Not a good time to be holding the gauntlet out. Nice actually move by Georgie to keep just keep holding that angle. And that's 3 successive frags in like the matter of just like what, 30 seconds? That's actually crazy. Breakage finally gonna be able to get back on the map, but immediately he's already taken a direct rocket. And Georgie has all the armor in the world, whereas Breakage has very little to show. Breakage actually making a pretty aggressive push here, trying to catch his opponent. Slight misread on the position though. 2 rails connecting for Breakage, both players unbelievably low. Georgie's gonna get the heavy armor, and Breakage gets the mega health. 2 totems are up. Georgie has not destroyed them just yet, and they might prove to be critical. Another miscalculation there by Georgie. Caught off guard. Just unaware of where his opponent is. Did I start the prediction? I did. You have just a couple more seconds to do the prediction. There's 20k on Breakage. You can make it big if you vote for Georgie right now. Well, Georgie's gonna find one of the totems. He's posturing on the high ground, but looks like he's might be giving up the heavy armor in the process. Good initial rocket, and the rail misses. That's another good rocket coming in with the orb as well. Breakage very low on health. Georgie, I can't say that he was super healthy himself, but the mega health was there. And he's gonna get one of the light armor, so that's already a pretty good position for Georgie. He has a 3 frag lead. It doesn't really have anywhere to rush. That being said, Breakage, thanks to the amount of totems that he's actually built up, he's able to still get an insane stack and win the next fight. Georgie not wasting any time, immediately rushing off of spawn with the LG, but going to go down in the process. Georgie has to start taking down those totems. They're starting to become a real problem. You should see, yep, there's 2 of them. He killed one of them. I don't think he realized there's 2. Okay. He does realize there's 2. But yeah, had it not been for the triple totem, I don't think Breakage would be even at a single frag right now. Georgie still trying to get some good rail angles. It's the only weapon he had at this point. Picks up the LG and not wasting any time to use it. However, the orb is not good enough to finish the frag. And Breakage is going to get away with barely any health. Again, triple totem is a possibility. And there it goes. Georgie has yet to find the totem that has been in the lightning gun room this entire time. The faster he can get rid of them, the more chances he has of securing the lead. Wait, it's 20k on Georgie? Oops. Anyway. Both players very low, and a stray rocket from Breakage grants him the 4th frag.
5-minute warning.
This actually should be a pretty good indication for Georgie as to where the totems are. A very messy fight though. 10 health before Breakage picks up the mega health. Georgie still on the offensive. Breakage just barely making it out alive. Misses the rail. The heavy armor has been taken by Georgie at least. 5-5 now, 5 minutes in. We got fivers.
My life sustains you.
Hello, Strinky. Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. As the guys wrote in chat. Ooh, we have an engagement coming up. Breakage, he does get the mega health. Tries to go for a peek on Georgie. Doesn't really work. Cannot stay around either. He was at 84 health, just in range of a potential kill from the railgun. Georgie dire orbs the wall. Like, literally the wall that was right next to him. But he doesn't really need the dire orb for that kill regardless. He's now starting to hit rails, similar to how Breakage was doing it on Vestibule of Exile. Not really, it's 47%, but there's 36 rails fired, and I think this is the great part from Georgie's play right now. He's constantly posturing in the middle part of the area. He ends up giving up like 1 or 2 major items, but you know what? It's fine, because what he does get in return is the fact that, first of all, Breakage doesn't have the rail in a lot of scenarios, and the second is that he just has constant information about where his opponent is. That's another rail connecting for Georgie. Orb is going to be used to close the distance. The rail doesn't connect though. Breakage very low. Georgie's in a perfect position right now. Breakage. Only 100 health, no armor whatsoever. He is in LG room, and I think this is a... Yeah, that was... as soon as Georgie dropped down, it was clear that he's gonna be able to get a frag here on the board. Woo! Nicely done there. Oh, the starting shotgun. It's doing some work. Oh, Breakage. He knows he doesn't have time.
Run.
He's not afraid to make some crazy moves now. Again, the third totem's gonna be up, so that's gonna allow him to get the overheal again. 1 minute 15 seconds remaining. Georgie having a laugh about something, I'm not sure about what, is about lose. That's not very funny.
1 minute warning.
Also, yeah, good point that, like, Georgie for a long time, you know, despite playing as a ranger, he was playing without the rocket launcher for a pretty long time there. And Georgie goes down 9-8 now, and this looks like, yeah, he's given up. GG with 40 seconds remaining, and I can't really blame him. So much control in the last minute from Breakage. Rest in peace, everybody's points who voted for Georgie. What a shame. What a shame. But really that last minute. Well done. Well done by Breakage. Georgie bet against himself. Arrest him? Wait, did you seriously bet against yourself, Georgie? Anyways, what do we have going on in the brackets now? How do I do this? Right, this is how you do it. So. Has Anarchy and Esports Ready not played yet? No, doesn't look like it. Oops. I'm clicking too many buttons. Right, round 2 it's going to be Anarchy versus Breakage, which is going to be another really fun fun matchup. So I think I'll just stay in this lobby with Breakage. Revoke his license. Yeah, Georgie, we're gonna have to like revoke your gambling license. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's illegal to vote against yourself. That's called match fixing. And it doesn't matter that you can get a lot of channel points here. I don't know what the hell you can do with them. We literally never do anything with the channel points, but still. It's illegal. Yeah, so 2-0 Breakage. Really close match there for map number 2. Map number 1 also definitely had its opportunities to actually get Georgie back in the lead. Fortunately, that never materialized, but overall, just good matches. Good matches. Anarchy versus Kuru. No idea how that's going right now. Is Kuru streaming? Anyone know? But yeah, I'm gonna stay in the same lobby with Breakage, and I'm gonna stay with the same lobby with Breakage, and we're gonna move on to Anarchy versus Breakage. Man, it's just fun to watch. What can you say? Kuru is streaming. Okay. Good. We have picks and bans happening right now. There we go. Ruins of Sarnath. Immediately. And I forgot to update the thing. Yeah, sorry if I feel, if I sound a little, I sound a little off today. My voice is definitely not up to the task today, but I still want to cast the tournament. It's always fun to watch. Map number 1 to be played is going to be Deep Embrace. And then moving on to... Oh, excuse me. Deep Embrace, and then moving on to Awoken. Molten Falls and Crucible have been banned. And the tiebreaker is going to be Exile, if there is going to be a tie. Breakage going for Exile, not surprising. He's shown a very good performance throughout the weeks. A little surprised actually for him not to go for it faster in the picks, but I suppose he saw the opportunity to get Deep Embrace, which is also a pretty good map of his. Oops. Right, what do we have here? Visor on Deep Embrace. I've never understood this pick all that much. Like, it's... I've seen some of the Europeans also go for Visor on Deep Embrace, but it feels kind of counterintuitive because the map is so tiny. What do you really gain? Strog and Peeker, on the other hand, just an incredibly strong pick. A Deep Embrace is probably one of the more combat-heavy maps when it comes to Quake Champions, and well, Strog is just excellent at keeping up the pressure non-stop. There's a lot of potential for continued frag chains, and thanks to Strog's Astroyan pickups, he's able to exploit that to the full potential. Avoken is going to be Eisen versus Death Knight. There we go. Anarchy picking that Death Knight. Anarchy's picks are weird, I have to say. Not like in this particular what's it called? Like in this particular best of 3, but in general, his picks are weird. He's one of the few players who just consistently goes for Death Knight, and I do not understand why. Exile, it is going to be Galena versus Doom. Kind of makes sense. Breakage, he is pretty much exclusively a medium champion player. Ranger was at that point already removed. BJ was also removed, which actually, like, he ended up removing himself, but Anarchy did get first pick. So I suppose a part of the plan there was just not to give Anarchy the opportunity to get BJ. Doom is not a bad champion either. There perhaps isn't all that much verticality that you can, you know, abuse thanks to the double jump, but what it does allow you to is really pop out from unexpected angles and work around your opponent like that. There's like a couple of areas that are just easier to reach with Doomslayer. I wouldn't say that they are kind of exclusive to him. I suppose that's the case with everything. Anyway, the players are deciding on the server. Waiting for our players just to ready up. And then we'll go into round 2. Yeah, Breakage, I think, overall this week, he's probably the favorite. I mean, well, okay, Carson's playing as well, so... Carson is still very likely gonna take it this week, but if, like, of all the players in our this week's lineup, I suppose Breakage is the one who's closest to actually being able to take away the victory. Georgie is pretty close as well, but as we've seen, Georgie, he has his moments where he shines like the brightest star, and when he falls hard. Who else did we have here? Like, I mean, Anarchy's not bad either. Anarchy can take a map away from Carson, so I don't think he can take out take an entire series away from Carson, but an individual map from time to time, yeah, sure, there's a possibility there. Now. Carson, strong AF. Maybe sus. No, there's nothing sus about him. It's just, he's good. He's just good. We have no reason to doubt him. Anyway, we are loading in. The players are ready. They have decided upon the servers, and Deep Embrace it is.
Prepare to fight. Round begins in 3.
Predictions are up for the next 2 minutes. We're going to be starting out on Anarchy playing Visor. Immediately gets the rocket launcher and the heavy. Waste no time to get the rail, which is a very important weapon on this map. It is close. It is a pretty close range map, but there's also a lot of angles that can be exploited. Anarchy now doing a really good job. That's 4 for 4. 4 consecutive rails gets him the first blood. Also, like this positioning from Anarchy, really nicely done to just keep holding that part of the map, because you generally want to deny the railgun from your opponent for as long as you can. Nice push there as well. Realizes that his opponent is pretty low, and it should be a very easy kill there. Anarchy has not... okay, he has missed the rail once. 9 out of 10 so far, 3 frags. Going for a close range rail there. Unfortunately not gonna work out for him, but as Breakage tries to push in, he actually gets pushed away. And the very unfortunate untimely use of the peeker there. That's 4-0 now for Anarchy. Breakage, he does have rail available and a very narrow angle there, but that's all that Breakage needs. Now he gets the heavy armor as well. He's in a pretty good position, but unfortunately unable to get away from his opponent in time. That was a lot of LG damage that he just took there. In the end, it's going to be a refrag for Anarchy. Breakage doing significant damage with the heavy machine gun. Peeker comes out, but interrupted early. Could not find his opponent. Not willing to take any risks when it comes to getting caught with your pants down. Breakage is being broken. Breakage actually just calls GG 2.5 minutes in. 78% rail on Anarchy. Can you blame him? Well, I did not expect that. After such a good performance on against Georgie, I did not expect this to be so one-sided. Wait, what? Okay, I have questions. Well, Breakage apparently just forfeits. Okay. Yeah, I did not expect this whatsoever. Well, guess we have to find another match then. Okay, give me a moment as I try to find another match. Round 2. Okay, while I'm doing that, I'll actually just do this, I guess. Yeah, I wrote to Kuru. I don't know if I made it in time. I don't think I did. Yeah, no, they already started. Okay, that's fine. In that case, yeah, I'll just restream what we have going on there. If only I can figure out how to do this. How do I do this? There we go.
Like the mega loop. I don't think I would instantly die to nothing. I couldn't move. There's a wall there. Put that dang wall there. You should be at heavy because it's up before mega. I don't know why he's not at heavy still.
I'm gonna leave you with Kuru, also known as Esports Ready.
I gotta come up first.
I'll go
I
get
just
some.
don't have it in me to
Get
care
some.
this much about it like he does.
I'm gonna get some coffee in the meantime.
I am too tired for this.
Back soon.
And I hate playing against Nix too.
Showstopper. Revenge. From the grave.
Hey, what a spawn. Didn't get the rocket launcher.
Tank.
Awesome. Wait, Q3? Did you get that? I wasn't looking, I was looking at chat. I did. I just can't even like aim right now or anything. Okay. Nothing hits. Then that hits me through the wall. I gotta play someone in the Quake live tournament. Like, not sure who. Nothing hits, man. I can't hit anything. I don't rail anymore. I'm just not that kind of guy. Double bit. I had a feeling you went to there.
Showstopper. Revenge. Mid-air. 5 minutes.
Okay, what's happening? Got stuck on a wall, I guess. Rail, on LG.
Right, I am back. We are watching right now Kuru, also known as Esports Ready, playing against Carson. Unfortunately, I didn't get in the match, so you're watching a restream.
Oh, I thought I saw him over the other side.
Also, hello, Leaks. Glad to see you.
I didn't mean to fall. Oh, that's on Naqcl.
Oh no, my internet. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty fancy by Carson. Sorry, by Kuru.
Okay.
Kuru is, if I'm not mistaken, the lowest ranked player in the tournament. At least when it comes to ELO. And Carson is, of course, a bit of a monster.
I wish it ended at 20, that'd be good.
It was actually weird that, like, the stream stopped because I didn't drop any frames. Like, as far as I can tell, everything is actually fine. Yeah, looks like it's going to be a very decisive victory for Carson.
Call it there. Stuff. Probably have that Quake live match now or something. I don't even.
Oh, that was Kuru.
Used to be live, but in. Oh, effortless. That's probably why there's.
Well, how do I use this thing called OBS? I don't know if that was map 2 or map 1 though. Let me see what we have coming up next. So yeah, some things got thrown into a bit of a things got thrown in a bit of a disarray because Breakage actually ends up forfeiting his match. So who do we have left? Okay. I don't know. Was that map 2 or map 1? Okay, that was map 2 that we just saw. So, I guess let me write to Carson. Because that's who we're gonna be watching next, I suppose. Right? I'm not delusional. I mean, I am delusional. Yeah, Carson versus Georgie should be up next. So, I'm a little confused myself because of, you know, the format. This is not something that we do here every time. Just something we're trying out with the lower player count. Carson versus Georgie, as I see, the picks and bans are happening right now, and I'll try to show them to you guys. Here we go. First map to be played is going to be Exile, followed up by Corrupted Keep, and map number 3 is going to be Deep Embrace. Overall, pretty combat heavy, like tight quarters maps, you know. Molten Falls and the Ruins of Sarnath both got removed. Not to say that Molten Falls can't be very combat heavy. Molten Falls has a situation where you can just run a perfect cycle and your opponent can't really do much about it. So there's still a possibility. Yeah, there's still a possibility for like a lot of action to happen on Molten Falls. But yeah, of all the maps that we currently have, Exile is kind of similar in the sense that you know, once you get in your opponent's face, there's no getting away from that. Just like on Deep Embrace, Corrupted Keep, we have seen that like you can slow it down, and some players have been exceptionally good at that. Most notably Razy. It's kind of been his signature thing, you know, to play Corrupted Keep, get like a couple frag lead, and then just go ultra defensive, and it works, you know. It actually works. Georgie is the party leader, so Georgie, if you're listening, you gotta invite me. Looking at the champion picks, trying to understand if there's anything out of the ordinary. Not really. Ranger and Visor on Exile, pretty good overall. Visor is, I think, definitely better on Exile than on something like Deep Embrace. Like, of all the small, like, close quarter maps, I think Exile is a definitely good choice for Visor. On Corrupted Keep is going to be Anarchy versus Sorlag. That's a pretty unusual matchup. We don't see a lot of Sorlag on Corrupted in general. And then on Deep Embrace, it's going to be Naqcl versus Slash. Actually, Carson playing the Naqcl and Georgie playing Slash. This is also not something you would see every single time, but it could be really fun. Anarchy versus Sorlag, that's a standout right there, I think. Georgie needs a minute or two. We shall grant him the minute or two. And then we'll hop right in to Vestibule of Exile. Yeah, I hope everybody is enjoying their evening or afternoon or whatever the hell it happens to be in your part of the planet. You never know. You actually never know. Thank you for the follow. It's night, yeah. Well, it's night for me as well. Cat. Yes, that is a cat. That is indeed a cat. Carson says he's ready. Georgie is nowhere to be seen. Georgie's already level 120. Wasting no time grinding that Quake Champions. It's barely a new season and he's already level 120. Damn. Going nuts for QC and Cat. That's like, I mean, it's a pretty good combination, you know, two great things in life. Quake and Quake and felines. We are loading into the map number 1 of the round 3 of our bracket. It is going to be Carson versus Georgie.
Prepare to fight. Round begins in
Oh, hold up. Hold up.
1. Fight.
There we go. We are going to be starting out on Georgie, playing Visor. Predictions, by the way, are up for the next 2 minutes. Georgie off to a great start. Dealt quite a lot of damage to the Ranger player. And he's already established a pretty good split between the major items. Hasn't really gone ahead to contest the heavy, which might come to bite him in the ass. RMV raiding with 16 raiders. RMV, when are we gonna see you here? That's the real question though, but thanks for the raid. Georgie now making an aggressive push, but the defensive rockets, even though they do not connect and don't really do any damage, it's still gonna be enough to push Georgie away and not force him in a situation not to pursue. A good rail for Georgie. That's another one. Georgie can still take one more rail and be just fine. Unfortunately, misses out. Mega Health is coming up first, and Georgie, again, just the... I'm not sure if I like this move to play so far on the major item itself. Georgie's doing so much damage. Vision comes out. Good defensive rocket by Carson. Unfortunately, the rail does not find its way. Carson still, he's very low. Georgie, he can take some damage and be just fine. Drops down, hits the orb. First blood goes to Carson. unexpected. Georgie's clowning it again. Why do we gotta abuse Georgie? But yeah, like one of the things I've already noticed with Georgie is that he likes to sit directly on the major item, and it's, in my opinion, a slight mistake. Carson actually completely oblivious to his opponent just emerging behind him. So, pretty good LG there by Carson. And a rail finisher. The rails are not connecting anymore. The orb doesn't really do anything either. But still, the stack advantage that Carson had gained over the last minute or so allows him to just push through the teleporter and still get the frag. Georgie stepping onto Carson's rocket. That's 4-0 now. Do a lot of damage being inflicted by both players. Carson now in a scary position. If Georgie drops onto him, he might just go down. Tribolt doing some work here. Carson takes a pretty good rocket. Unfortunately, the LG is not good enough to get the frag. Georgie actually ducking under the rail. And Carson, he ends up giving up the mega health as he tries to go for an additional frag. Carson now 5 frags in the lead. It's 1 rail, 2 rails, and Georgie is nothing more than a discombobulated mess, I guess you should call it, given how his body parts just went flying across the room.
5-minute warning.
RMV is getting 83 ping to east and 92 to north. Is that passable? I'd say yes. I think we can work around that. Georgie taking a lot of damage from a dire orb combo. That's already 8 frag for Carson, 5.5 minutes in. Georgie was doing so well in that first minute, just exerting control, but as soon as he went down, it's been a non-stop slaughter for Carson. Nice drop down, actually hitting 2 very good rails. Carson unbelievably low on health, almost the pre-fire rocket almost taking down Georgie. Gonna go for a rocket jump, and Georgie, he is there to try and get that mega, but he's a little bit too late. Beautiful combo by Georgie, but he has a long way to go if he wants to get back into the match. That's 9-2 now, 3 minutes remaining. On a map like Vestibule of Exile, it's definitely possible to start making a comeback, but it's still gonna be tough, especially against somebody like Carson. And Georgie almost going off the map. I don't know about you, but I felt pretty puckered there. Lots of nail gun damage being inflicted, and forces the spawn, gets a really good immediate rail. That's probably the nastiest spawn in the entire game that you can force your opponent on. There's just absolutely nothing that you can really do. Carson making an aggressive push with the shotgun. The orb doesn't really accomplish all that much. Gets a couple pellets onto his opponent, but again... Ooh, that's really good nail gun damage. 2 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. Georgie dodging and weaving through the rockets. He makes it to his 4th frag. 2 minutes, 6 frag difference. And look at the stack on Georgie. He's looking pretty damn healthy. Man can probably bench press an entire truck. Bench lift, what the hell is that, dude? Like...
Stopwatch.
Carson, he takes another rail. 1 minute 30. Actually, I believe this may have been a mistake by Georgie again to play it so safe. Not even taking an advanced position when it comes to securing the major item. It just ends up eating up so much time from Georgie. Again, like his shots are connecting. Oh, that's for sure. That's 100 rockets. Good rail there, but the time has been so wasted at this point, and Georgie is just unable to find the killing blow. What happened? Oh, Georgie, yeah. Georgie was actually standing on Mega, and I was about to say that, I don't think he realized that, yeah, the Mega Health was picked up there, because he was just standing on it. He should have realized just by the timings. Welcome to Vestibule of Exile. Anyways, the 11-4 is going to be the final score at Rhymes, yo. Carson is going to take map number 1. Georgie is Confucian. America, explain. Nobody knows that joke, do they? Only I am so... I'm weird enough to know that joke. I mean, actually, it's a pretty popular video. Anyways, map number 1 goes to Carson, but we still got potentially 2 maps to be played. What was map number 2? Map number 2 was Corrupted Keep. Ooh, that might be really exciting. Oh, that's right. It was the pretty weird matchup of Anarchy versus Sorlag. Congratulations to Coffee by Tomo for getting all of the channel points. Man's probably so rich. At least with channel points. Georgie is apparently having some issues with his internet. Let's give him a moment to sort that out. Oh, he's back. Oh no, Tomo has found the button to use his channel points. God save us all.
Prepare to fight.
I want to see this. I want to see this Anarchy.
Begins in
I want to see this Sorlag as well.
2.
Sorlag actually, with the recent change that it's seen, I think is overall just a better champion. It's not a significant, like at least it doesn't look at first glance like a significant buff, but it ends up being quite good. Anyway, well, that's a very unfortunate engagement for Georgie at the very start. It doesn't even get really a whole lot of damage done, and Carson already starting to deny some of those time vials. I do believe they are more critical for Georgie if he wants to have a chance in this matchup than they are for Carson. Carson can just use, you know, his stack advantage overall, whereas Georgie, no such luck for him. He's gonna need every inject to make it count. And the swish movement there from Georgie actually evading death there, but only momentarily.
I will feast on your bow.
What the hell is this? Four frags already for Carson. But it's only a matter of time, like a perfect trap. Perfect trap. I was exactly about to say this, that it's only a matter of time before Georgie gets one good engagement and things can start turning around fast. Pretty good damage inflicted, unfortunately loses out on the heavy armor. Ooh, this might be potentially devastating for Georgie. He does realize in the end the whereabouts of his opponent. Trying to push his way onto the mega health, but again, just slight mistiming there. 1 or 2 seconds and he gets onto it early, goes down to the Tribolt, and in the end Carson is the one who gets full control. Georgie ends up blowing himself up, probably, yeah, like I don't blame him. That's actually, that suicide ends up net beneficial to him. Some swish movement by Carson now. Both of these players just kind of styling around. Nice defense there by Georgie. Despite how low he was, he does not go down and has an opportunity to restack. Georgie dropping down. He doesn't achieve a whole lot in this fight. Really a lot of damage, just like tick by tick, is being inflicted by Carson. Okay, completely caught off guard. Georgie just runs like a deer at night right in front of the car's headlights. (8-0). This is not going well for him at all. good damage being inflicted by both players, but Georgie, I have a feeling there might be a little bit too much optimism in the success of these pushes. Point blank to finish the kill. Georgie gets back on the board, but it is 12-1. And again, Georgie missing out on a couple of LG ticks, and that's gonna make him lose the major item, which is gonna be picked up mid-fight. And yeah, that seals the deal.
What a fun.
Yeah, Carson's at this point playing with his prey, I guess. Georgie's fallen so far out of the lead that, well, he never really was in the lead, but yeah, he's fallen behind so far that all he can really do at this point is just push and hope for the best, and doesn't look like it's gonna work. Yeah, very clean performance by Carson. Georgie did say that his internet has been acting up. That may have been a factor. Pushes harder, there's gonna be a baby? Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah. Carson takes map number 2, and he is going to be the winner of round 3. Right. What do we have going on in the brackets? If only I could figure out. I feel so lost today. I can never figure out how to actually switch to the correct thing. So, brackets. Carson is so far undefeated. Next up, Carson versus Breakage. There's a question about this which I don't know the answer to. Namely, did Breakage forfeit the entire tournament, or did he just forfeit his match against Anarchy? I don't know. I really do not know. The alternative is we might be watching Georgie versus Anarchy. And then it's going to be Carson versus Anarchy and Georgie versus Kuru in round 5. Yeah, we're in round 4 now. Afterwards, after the rounds have been finished, we're going to go to the playoffs, where it's going to be the 2 highest standing players facing off in the grand finals, in a best of 5 with a 1 map advantage for whoever has the most victories. Anyway, I think yeah, let's go and watch some Georgie versus Anarchy. I'll set everything up on the stream for you guys. Bring back global chat, please don't. Really, please don't. if I want to see like slurs being dropped in the morning, I can go outside, you know, on like a Saturday evening. Achieves the same thing pretty much, you know. Besides, as I understand, global chat didn't even work as a global chat. It was actually split into weird stuff, kind of like based on region or something. And the people that use slurs, also true.
Got you covered, soldier.
Atomic Swede with the €5 donation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, the global chat was never a global chat. It was weird. Sync can probably like explain it better, but that's what I understand. Even though it said like it's global, it ain't global. But yeah, it's been replaced with system messages, which is just gonna be, you know, announcements of like maintenance and stuff like that. Which, you know, fair enough. Anyways, we are looking at the picks and bans of Anarchy versus Georgie. Anarch versus George, as it says on the pick and ban tool. First map to be played is going to be Ruins of Sarnath. Anarchy already banning Strog and Peaker. Not surprised about it. That's Strog and Peaker is most definitely one of Georgie's strongest picks. Georgie is gonna go for the Visor pick though. And Anarchy, there he goes. Death Knight. We're getting some Death Knight on Ruins of Sarnath. Tomo, I think you're gonna be pretty happy with this. It's that patented North American what's it called? Death Knight on Ruins. It doesn't seem like a good. It doesn't seem like a good pick. I don't know how does he make it work, but he most certainly does. I have a cat attacking me. Map number 2 to be played is going to be Exile. It's going to be BJ versus Eisen. Again, like these are pretty standard picks, nothing crazy about that. Eisen, in my opinion, a little underpicked even on Exile often. The turret can really stop your opponent from being able to chase. It is, it's quite a good tool. And, you know, you also get that passive health, sorry, not health, but armor regeneration, which is, of course, also a very, very powerful tool in the right hands. That's a good point. Anarchy has also fallen out of favor on Veil. I mean, you're more likely to see actually these days this Sorlag being picked on Veil rather than Anarchy, but I still think there's some potential there, and as you pointed out, Celts absolutely has shown that it can work, and he does make it work. I think there's still overall a lot of potential that hasn't really been fully explored, not just on what am I trying to say? Not just on like the old maps, but I would love to see more players really put in more thought on, for example, this thing. What's it called? Tower of Koth, the latest one, right? Tower of Koth, Crucible. I think those maps have a lot more potential, and we see kind of like a stale meta for now. But there's a lot of stuff to be explored there. Anyways, we are on Ruins of Sarnath.
Prepare to fight.
It is
Round begins.
Georgie
3,
versus
2,
Anarchy.
fight.
Oh hell yeah, like Crucible, like the CP Maze stuff, good stuff. Anyways, I guess we're starting out on our Death Knight player. Let's see how we can make this really non-standard pick work. We've seen it before. Anarchy, he sometimes somehow does it, just makes it work. The burst damage potential of Death Knight is arguably lower in this season. That's season 27 compared to the previous ones. However, what he does gain is better area denial. We have a slight engagement here. Georgie catching his opponent off guard, but the defensive rockets aren't there to save him. This is now not... Yeah, this is very far from a good good situation for Georgie. Had no positioning, didn't really have the weaponry either, and ends up going down very quickly. I like this move as well from Anarchy coming out, just waiting to get some information on his opponent. Probably knew exactly where Georgie was spawning. And Georgie caught in the same corner for the second time. Anarchy lining up a rail, but unable to find his opponent. Georgie very aggressively coming through the teleporter, immediately with an LG in hand, trying to get some damage done. And damage he does do, but Anarchy had obtained quite the stack there. Thankfully, he is going to be able to get a heavy armor pretty much for free. Very good rails coming out from Georgie now. Anarchy has to be careful. The flame strike does come out and it does a significant amount of damage. But Georgie, he's still in a position where I think he can contest the next majors. He does miss out on Mega. I think that was a good move there by Anarchy overall to go directly for Mega rather than for Rail. One rail connecting for Georgie. No armor on our DK player. Flame Strike is going to be down, so this should be a pretty easy Mega Health for Georgie. Does get it. He doesn't know. He's looking the wrong direction. Actually takes a rail to his sides. Pretty much free. Vision has been popped. This should give Georgie just enough information to understand what he can and what he can't do. Nice move there. Unfortunately, loses out on the what's it called? Misses the rail is what I'm trying to say. But regardless, nice move there. Two frags is what Georgie got before struck down by Anarchy. 2 to 6 now, actually. A lot of nail gun damage coming out. And the chase. 3-6. All things considered, yes, Georgie ended up dropping 2 frags there, but I don't think he's in a bad position. If Anarchy stays around, he does not, but if he had stood around for the heavy armor, he would have been pretty much dead immediately after. And now it's just overall a great position for Georgie. Another great rail, comes through the teleporter, super nail gun in hand. Good read. Again, we're seeing some more of what we saw up against Breakage, where Georgie, he's controlling the middle part of the map. Has to be careful. Really low health. Again, good move. Don't force the major item. Just go for some damage if you can. Both players hitting their rails. Georgie has to be careful. He's still railable, and he's still peeking. He's still peeking, and he's still connecting. 6-6 now, dropping onto his opponent. Georgie is just playing like an absolute madman. Is this like... Okay, it's not Dramis. Dramis would not have died there. Georgie immediately rushing off of spawn to try and collect the railgun. He is gonna get the mega health. Anarchy got the heavy armor pretty much for free, but the stacks are largely the same. Anarchy, he's already set up with all of the weapons in hand, and but he doesn't seem to know where his opponent is. He hits a really good rail. Immediately returned by Georgie. Georgie pushing up a little bit too much on the upper mid connector. He's gonna go down, but still a lot of damage inflicted. If Georgie sets up in time, he might be able to do significant amounts of damage. He hits one rail, already setting up for the heavy, but this is already looking like a bad fight. Would have loved to see if the flame strike actually come out, but no such luck. Unfortunate spawn for Georgie there. Does not expect his opponent to be right in his face so quickly. But again, Georgie hitting rails. The man knows his angles. Anarchy trying to go for that light armor, but the way is going to be cut off by our wiser player. The vision was popped for seconds until heavy armor. Georgie actually not even trying to contest that. Probably could have tried to go for at least one rail off of that. 2 minutes 30 seconds. Ooh, very close rocket. If Death Knight had any eyebrows left, he's dead. He doesn't have, he's a skeleton, he doesn't have eyebrows. But if he had eyebrows, they would be gone now. Good rails from both players. Anarchy, you can see that like he's already starting to clam up, playing a lot more defensively. Dropping down, a nice move there. Actually gonna go up to jump pad. This might be a bit of a mistake, but he does have an exit option. Georgie taking more and more damage. 1 minute and 40 seconds is all that remains. One frag difference. Georgie takes another very critical rail. He's at a situation where he's starting to lose out on major items. Flame Strike preemptively coming out just to deny the possibility of an aggressive push by Georgie. 1 minute, 10 seconds. Anarchy again, setting up for for the heavy. Largely uncontested. Vision's not going to be available for 10 seconds, and Georgie looks like his whole game plan at this point is just to get 1 or 2 good shots and soften his opponent up so that he can actually make a death push. And that death push is going to have to come pretty soon because there's only 30 seconds remaining on Ruins of Sarnath. Georgie dropping down to heavy. He does collect it. Oh, that's very unfortunate for Georgie. Anarchy actually sticking around the LG area. There's only 15 seconds left. Georgie pushing. Doesn't realize how close his opponent was. Misses the rail. 5 seconds. A rocket jump up. 3 seconds. And Anarchy lives. With only 7 health remaining, a frag happens in the last second. And Anarchy takes map number 1, that's Ruins of Sarnath, with his signature Death Knight. I don't know how he does it. He just does it. What a monster. That's a lot of points going for people who are voting for Anarchy. Great match. There's a lot, like especially the last 2 minutes, very tense, very tense. But that was just map number 1. Map number 2 is going to be Vestibule of Exile. We have another medium versus medium champion matchup. It is going to be Georgie on Eisen and Anarchy on BJ Blazkowicz. Whose map pick was this? Whose map pick was this? I do wonder. I think this was Georgie's map pick.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Fight.
Yeah, so Exile is Georgie's map pick. We're gonna be starting out on Anarchy, our BJ Blazkowicz player. He's trying to get some positioning on his opponent. Actually, very nicely done. Huge amount of damage for pretty much free. Georgie missing a critical rail there. And there's a immediate spawn frag potential. A lot of damage done by Georgie though. The heavy does go to Anarchy. Georgie now still pushing in. Has the LG and he's not afraid to use it. The Mega was picked up, but it pretty much immediately denied thanks to a well-timed rocket. Anarchy, no fear, 45 health, he's still pushing. Doesn't go down. Both players screaming for their lives. Georgie now already spamming some rockets. He's setting up for that mega health, but that's really unfortunate timing to be standing out in the open like that. Loses out on the mega health as well. Oh, and Anarchy gets pushed off the map. Sinkerer claims his first kill of this tournament. And a pretty good refrag. Already setting up for another spawn frag. Anarchy, however, not even going for the light armor as you usually do. It is an easily exploitable area. Oh, that's very unfortunate for Anarchy now, because he actually used dual wield there as well. And for what? Just to die quickly. Very shaky LG from Georgie, but it doesn't matter. It's not perfect, it's just good enough. And good trap. Very good trap there by Georgie. 5-3 now. Very good start here for our Eisen player. Again, a dual wield used by Anarchy, but it doesn't achieve anything as he goes down right as it's popped. Georgie now, he is looking not particularly healthy, but his opponent didn't really have the rocket launcher, didn't really have the weapons, you know, to make that kind of a push. The Timmy is actually going to give, I think, pretty crucial information for Georgie, allowing him to play around it. Heavy was picked up. Anarchy, he's missing the railgun. Or not? I think he's missing the railgun. Ooh, nice defensive rocket. More good defensive rockets, 12 health. Georgie trying to do everything he can. Anarchy actually very early on that mega health. However, on the fresh spawn, Anarchy should have an idea now when exactly the mega health is going to be coming up. Good rockets, but the click of doom. Anarchy taking the oh my. Sync, I hope you're happy. Sync is probably just unbelievably happy right now, and can you blame him? He's not even playing the game, and he's got 2 frags already. Georgie, very low. It's a mutual.
Bags in the river.
Can we remove Crucible from the dual pool? I mean, it's not a bad map, I don't think. Besides, I'm not the one who decides. Oh, great rocket. And then another pretty good one. 150 damage inflicted total. Whoa, no! What is going on? Sync, have mercy, please. Georgie's gonna be undeterred by this. Minor setback, I guess we could call it. And Georgie now screaming for his life. He's hitting pretty good defensive rockets, but not in time to collect the mega health. Good positioning by Georgie, but unfortunately, Anarchy was completely ready for that. Nice setup there. Here comes the super nail gun. Easy to underestimate it, but Anarchy's still gonna be able to get the frag, and now it's 7-8. Anarchy again, taking quite a lot, but he is going to be able to secure the Mega Health. He does secure one of the light armors. Good rockets by Georgie. And it's very surprising, but Anarchy actually goes down. An immediate refrag though, very risky there by Georgie to go through the teleporter, but it was worth the shot. It was delayed enough where it could have worked.
Time to die.
Dual wield popped preemptively. Checks his surroundings before actually going for the Mega Health. No split between the items now. 2.5 minutes remaining. We are at 8 versus 9 in favor of Anarchy. Anarchy seems to have lost the timings of the items.
Stopwatch. Tank.
Standing on the heavy armor for quite some time there. I don't think he realizes at what point is the Mega Health also going to be coming up now. Actually, he should. He got the Mega Health. 2 beautiful rockets by Anarchy. Close range shotgun it's good, but it's not good enough. 8 to 10 now. Minute and 30 seconds remaining. Georgie, don't tell me you're gonna fall off the map again, please, dear God.
Another day, another dead fascist.
That's 8 to 11 now, and Georgie's time, it's running out. He's sitting on heavy already, but beautiful positioning into just insane amounts of LG damage is gonna grant him the 12th frag. Although, there's still time. It's actually still possible. It's not possible anymore. I jinxed it. Oh well. There was time, but the plasma gun didn't connect. Georgie gonna call GG. And the final score is going to be 8 versus 14. I think it was 8 versus 14. Georgie, so close to taking the map away, actually. I don't think the scoreline says everything. He had a really good run there, but yeah. Ended up losing out. Actually, right. So this was round 4. We're gonna be now going into I suppose it's gonna be round 5? Carson versus Anarchy? Ice was made more slippery? Yes. It's part of the new feature set of the game. Ice now made 50% slipperier, but only if you're in the lead. Or making a comeback. Right. That's Georgie versus Anarchy done. Let me see if I can. See if I can see who's ready, who's not ready, because as I see the brackets haven't been fully updated yet. Yeah, looks like we're gonna have to wait for Carson, I guess. Breakage is allegedly in-game, so I do wonder if he's playing against Carson right now, because he is in round 4. I was supposed to be playing against him. Let me see. Let me see. Hum. Yeah, they're not. Neither of them are streaming their game, unfortunately, so I guess we're gonna just have to wait and see. Was it Carson with a 0? Yes. Well, all I can really say for sure right now is that both Breakage and Carson are in-game. So yeah. We need people to fill out bracket to see standings. I think it was updated, wasn't it? Let me see what we can see. Carson's currently number 1. Kuru has finished all of his matches, I think, right? Right? I'm not delusional, again. I mean, I know that I'm delusional in general, but, you know. Right, so... This is played. We still have round 5 to play. Actually, wait, so round 5 is... Okay, it's Georgie versus Kuru. And Carson versus Anarchy. I do want to see Carson versus Anarchy. I think that's going to be a really good one. Georgie, very unfortunate, like coming so very close to actually getting wins on the board, but unable to really finish out the matches. That's really unfortunate, but still very well played by them. Ooh, we have Carson in the lobby. Hell yeah. We have Carson in the lobby and the players are already setting up their picks and bans. So let's jump into that. Corrupted Keep has been banned. Crucible has also been banned. Molten Falls, we're gonna see Molten Falls for the first time in on this stream. I am interested to see if Anarchy is again gonna go for something crazy like Death Knight. Because he just likes to really go for Death Knight on these wide open maps. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But I feel like I'm just not meant to understand, you know. Deep Embrace is going to be map number 2. Definitely one of Carson's strongest picks. A very good map for him. And map number 3 is going to be Awoken. Strogan Peaker immediately banned by Anarchy. Would not be surprised for Carson to go something like Sorlag. Visor is also, of course, just a standard, like, very safe pick. What is Anarchy doing? Is he going Death Knight? This is the real question I want to know. It's the Death Knight. Anarchy, explain this to me. What is the logic behind it? It's the Death Knight. God damn it. Look, we Europeans, we don't understand it. Why? Why Death Knight on these large maps? I mean, it's not terrible, I guess. Actually, like, with the latest change, I think it's not that bad. Because you can still use, like, the Flame Strike on, like, let's say, on Heavy. And, it ends up doing quite a lot of damage if your opponent stands in it. DK's Bay. I mean, he's a handsome devil, that's true. I guess, like, yeah, there's definitely opportunities to do, like, a lot of damage and just, like, deny the positioning with the Flame Strike on Molten, because although, yes, the map is generally pretty wide open, all of the major items that you really wanna go for are located, you know, in these sort of peculiar spots that are kind of hard to get out of quickly. Map number 2, yeah, as I said, that's Deep Embrace, a Ranger versus BJ. We don't see a lot of BJ on Deep Embrace recently. If I'm not mistaken, it used to be way more popular a couple years ago. But yeah, neither player going really for verticality here. Doomslayer was banned, so that's not an option. Generally one of the better medium champion picks in my opinion. Ranger, of course, like, just a solid pick on every map. And on Awoken it is Athena which is banned, and it's going to be Nyx versus Slash, but that's if we get there. Well, Carson apparently needs just 1 minute to set up, but when it comes to these champion picks and these maps, I think it's Anarchy's gonna really have to sweat it to try and get a victory on Deep Embrace. On Molten Falls, there is a chance for him, but Carson, he is a player who just plays overall a very solid game. He can do fancy stuff. We've seen that previously. But he generally just plays, like, you know, nicely and conservatively. Doesn't really go for unnecessary risks. And that's one of his strengths, and especially with Visor in his hands, it's gonna give him an advantage. But still, Anarchy, he somehow just makes Death Knight work, and Molten Falls was his pick. I'm not sure how ready Carson is. If we get to a Vulcan, I am really not sure what to expect of this matchup, because I really haven't seen Anarchy play Slash all that much on a Vulcan. But if we get that far, and I hope we do, it's gonna be pretty exciting. Anyways, we are moving on. Molten Falls.
Prepare to fight. Round begins in 3, 2, 1.
What the hell is going on? Okay, we have a slight miscalculation in terms of the server choice. Because yeah, it looks like both players ended up getting a pretty bad ping. So, quick restart. And we're gonna be back shortly. Players are already setting up. So, a couple of minutes and we are good to go.
Prepare to fight.
Funds have been called.
Round begins in
Predictions are up for the next 2 minutes and we're starting. Carson versus Anarchy. This is round 5, the last of the group stage. We're playing round robin this week. Everybody gets to play against everybody. Anarchy tries to push in, actually takes 2 rails for free, doesn't have any long-range weapon whatsoever. Very easy kill there for Carson. Immediately moving over to rail to try and deny it from the Death Knight player. Both major items are up. Carson making a chase. He definitely had the stack to sustain some damage there. With the light armor was also up. Again, good rails coming out from Carson. Vision has been popped, unfortunately doesn't really connect. And it's going to be actually our DK player who emerges better off from that engagement. Carson, he does get the heavy armor. Actually, noise made by Anarchy could have gotten a surprise there on his opponent, but he's already on his way to the mega health. So both players now largely the same when it comes to stack. However, you have to keep in mind the burst damage potential of Death Knight. Carson using the vision. This should be a free heavy armor for Anarchy. He doesn't really make his way over to mega health in time. Carson doesn't really have any information on where his opponent is. He has a vague suspicion, and that's about all. Nice LG opening damage there. Carson running head first. Actually going for a rocket jump out of there. Takes a rail, but still not a bad fight for him. He does get to mega health in time as well. Both players now largely is still equal on stack, but Anarchy is hitting rails. but exposing himself for just a little bit too long. Anarchy, he does have a refrag potential here. Carson, pretty weak, all things considered. One rail connects. Oh, but the rockets. Very nicely done. They're dancing around the walls and successfully gets the third frag. Two rails hit by Anarchy. That's another great rail there. Carson completely forced off of the heavy armor, and he should be just in time to get the mega health. Carson actually staying around trying to get some damage done, but the rockets just were not there. It's the first frag for our DK player. Didn't even have to use the ability there. In the meantime, I do see that Carson did end up using the vision. Incredible stack now on Anarchy. Two rails connecting, very good start. Gets the mega health, doesn't get the kill though. Denies the light armor, loved this maneuver as well. There's only 2 light armors on Molten Falls, which is generally less than your average Quake Champions map. Oh, but in this rail fight, Anarchy is missing out, and it's going to be the heavy machine gun being used to get the final frag. Not the final frag, but the final killing blow. Carson taking just a little bit of fire damage, taking a little bit of a rail, and what is this angle by our DK player? He's in time to get the mega health as well, despite the fact that Carson actually got a pretty favorable spawn there, but I can't blame him for not going for the major immediately. Oh, that's a very, very unfortunate weapon choice from Anarchy. In cases like that, this shotgun pretty much always wins out. Very quick maneuvers from Carson. And he's built quite the stack now. Actually getting a completely free rail on his opponent. Surprising how much effort had to be put into that kill, but it does happen in the end. Nice little rail there. Helped out by the vision. Anarchy gonna hear his opponent approaching. Forced away. I love this maneuver also from Carson. He realizes that the mega health is not going to be coming up for another 10 seconds. Instead, opts to try and deny whatever weaponry he can. Another missed rail for our DK player. Every single one of them is currently starting to sting. There is still time though. Insane LG, 180 LG, just completely non-stop. It was pretty good damage being inflicted by Anarchy as well though. Talking about good damage, that rocket did some work there. Carson now on the back foot. His stack almost entirely deleted. 49 health. Anarchy gets the mega health. He has one of the light armors as well. In fact, Carson is still railable, and he's just going to be using the sound to try and maneuver around his opponent. Still, I like these maneuvers from Carson. set up in positions where he can get free damage. Always keep your opponent on their toes. Beautiful rockets. In spite of being nearly 3 times as weak when it comes to health, still gets the frag. Goes perfectly for Carson. One minute and 30 seconds remaining. There's a 6 frag difference. Carson is taking, again, quite a lot of damage, but as we've seen, his fundamentals are just really strong. And even when it seems like he's at a huge disadvantage, he's still a force to be reckoned with. And, you know, Anarchy just... you know, just drive by off the map. The Sync is eating well today. Lots of frags for him. Last 30 seconds, we're gonna see maybe some last-ditch efforts being done by Anarchy. Really good flame strike there, actually. But this is pretty much sealed. There's no coming back from this point. 15 seconds, Carson gets one more frag with 10 health remaining. Not a bad effort by our DK player. But still, map number 1 is going the way of Carson. We are getting ready for map number 2, which is going to be Deep Embrace. As I mentioned previously during the pick and ban phase, I do believe this should be a very tough matchup for Anarchy. Although, as we saw, Anarchy's start against Breakage was insanely good. The players are deciding on the server. It does appear that the central one that they were trying previously may not have been optimal, but hopefully it did not cause Anarchy to lose focus.
Prepare to fight. Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Fight.
Right, map number 2 of the group stage, round 5. We're starting out on Anarchy, playing Ranger against Carson, the favorite of the tournament, playing BJ Blazkowicz. What was that angle? I was just about to say that, like, Carson maybe had a slight miscalculation there in terms of allowing Anarchy to get the railgun so easily, but he has hit so much damage that it really doesn't matter. And he's still hitting 6 out of 6, make that 7 out of 7, 8 out of 8 rails. I think this is something that we've... something very similar to what we saw when Anarchy was playing against Breakage on Deep Embrace. Just devastating rails. Heavy armor is up and Anarchy is gonna go for it. Ends up collecting it, but is he gonna be in time to contest the Mega? He is there, the shots do not connect. Both players going for an LG fight. Anarchy reigns victorious. He'll kill quite a lot of damage there. His opponent's gonna get the rail spawn, which is very favorable for Carson. So even though Anarchy ended up winning that fight, he is susceptible to a refrag. One rail connects. There's an aggressive push from Anarchy. Little noodly LG there. Oh my, and the rocket hit the wall. It didn't even go into the little cubby there. Carson gets out somehow. Another rail missed. Finally one of the rail connects. But it's starting to be pretty late, and in the end, this one frag for Anarchy that should have been incredibly clean ends up being just one of the messiest. Good third frag though, and Anarchy is now making his way back into the match. Pretty good timings for the items right now as well, with approximately a 15-second split. Both players hitting their rails. Anarchy has to back off just for a bit, as he was still railable. Orb is still in play. Ooh, nice maneuver there by Carson to stick around the middle and just try to get some damage in. As I say that, both players now railable. Carson, he's gonna heal up the double bubble, the lower part of the map, and he's just gonna win on the Mega. Again, Carson's slow and calculated. Oh dear God, what is happening today? What is actually happening today? Anarchy, he's still taking so much damage. He's dishing some damage out, but he's also taking a lot of damage. Carson now gets the 5th frag. Both players very low. Carson just narrowly able to squeeze that kill. Restacks back as if there was no fight that actually had happened. Anarchy now posturing from the top part. Unfortunately, I think he actually got pushed off. I don't think he wanted to deliberately do that. Close range rails, and Carson, he's railable. Well, not anymore, especially given how dead Anarchy is. And yeah, at this point, the timings have still been... The timings have still been kept in that, you know, really nice 15-second split. Ooh, but a movement error from Carson is gonna get him killed. And this is Anarchy's chance to again start coming back. Just don't fall off the map. Doesn't actually go for heavy, which might be a mistake. He is gonna see Carson pick it up. He doesn't have a rail. Maybe that's why he's a little hesitant to do that. Really good LG. Unbelievably good LG. That's a kill, but at what cost? All of his stack. He used literally all of his stack just for that one kill. I don't think that was worth it in the end. Carson gets a refrag. Pretty clean one as well. Heavy is up and Anarchy is trying his best to make his way over to it. Nine to 4 now, 4 minutes remaining. This could still be anyone's game. Both players have their abilities ready. Anarchy. Stacking up. He should have all the weapons, but again, just ends up giving up the heavy for no real reason. Thankfully, these close range rails that he's hitting, they're kind of bailing him out. But Carson's no pushover. A very aggressive Dire Orb. He was caught in a corner there. I don't believe he really had a choice at that point. Might as well try and for a Hail Mary push. That's going to be another full rotation for Carson. Anarchy. Oof. Being read by a book. Read like a book, not by a book. Books can't read. Again, like the defensive positioning on Carson, so good. So really good. Just allows him to take these fights. He's doing damage before Anarchy's even on his screen. Aggressive Dire Orb. Carson making it out on 5 health. 5 health. And there we go. The rail finds its way, but again, like these fights, they're coming so messy for Anarchy. They're not clean. They're not... Oh dear. They're really not as efficient and not as quick as Anarchy really needs them right now to be. There's 2 minutes remaining. It is Deep Embrace. We're looking at a 6 frag difference. Anarchy has got his opponent pinned. He gets his 6th frag. 5 frags now to make. Carson jumps into this LG. That might be his doom. Ooh, but so much HMG damage and goes up the jump pad to finish the frag. Carson hitting rail after rail. The orb did come out from our ranger player, but a little bit too late. That's now 14 to 6, and this is starting to look like a GG. Valiant effort from Anarchy, but again, just unable to really finish out those frags properly. It may have cost him the game. And even the frags that he did get, like, he ended up using all of his stack for them. With 20 seconds remaining in the 6 frag difference, Anarchy's not making this comeback. But it was definitely a pleasure to watch him play. Really solid performance, all things considered. Carson, he's maybe not as known, you know, as some of the big names we have sometimes joining us in NAQCL, but what is for sure is that he can challenge pretty much anyone in NA, including the likes of Dramis and quite possibly even Saigib. Saigib, if you're out there, join the tournament. Do it. Yeah, good performance, really good performance from Carson. And Anarchy as well. Let's take a look at what's going on with the brackets. So again, this week, because of the lower amount of players that we have, we are playing round robin for the group stage, where everybody gets to play against everybody, and then the top 2 players are going to be playing in the grand finals, which is going to be a best of 5. And if I can only figure out how the hell to look at this nonsense. How do I... Okay, there it is. Right, so is this up to date? No, it's not up to date yet. So let's take a look at what we've got so far. Anarchy played against Kuru, also known as Esports Ready. That was a 2-0 victory for him. Breakage versus Georgie, 2-0 victory for Breakage, but very close. Very close. Georgie really could have won both maps, really. Carson versus Kuru, that was also a very decisive 2-0 victory for Carson. And Anarchy then played against Breakage. What do you mean this game is still alive? I mean, yeah, it's been alive for many years. And it's probably going to continue to be alive. Carson versus Georgie, 2-0. And Kuru versus Breakage, 2-0. Carson versus Breakage actually being a 2-1, which is quite surprising. Carson's looking overall pretty damn strong this week. Well, I mean, he's looking strong pretty much every week. But still, Breakage able to take a map away from him. Breakage he is also one of those people that like a lot of players don't know about him. But he's got a lot of potential. He's absolutely got a lot of potential. Georgie versus Anarchy, that was also a really good series. A 0-2 victory for Anarchy. But until like really the last minute of both maps, it felt like it could go Georgie's way. A couple unfortunate events. And yeah, still ends up going in the favor of Anarchy. And then we have Carson versus Anarchy, which we watched just now, and Georgie versus Esports Ready, which means the group stage has finished, and we're going to be moving on to the playoffs, where it is going to be. We have a tie. Or do we? Anarchy has more points. Why does Anarchy have more points? Like it says over here, like 24 points for Carson, 18 points for Anarchy, and 15 points for Breakage. What? So who gets to play against Carson? But they have the same amount of victories, no? Oh no, Breakage has 2 losses. Yeah, Breakage has 2 losses because he lost to Carson and he lost to Anarchy. Whereas our Anarchy only lost against Carson. So, yeah. Yeah, like, all is good. All is good. I am an idiot. Sometimes. Maybe. So, yeah, it is going to be Carson versus Anarchy in the grand finals. That's literally the entire bracket. Anyways, I assume the boys, they already have a pick and ban link somewhere. Yes, Carson has been kind enough to provide me with a pick and ban link. Carson, of course, coming in the first place from the round robin, he gets a 1-map technical victory pretty much immediately. So the map that he basically gets a free ban on, that's going to be Crucible. That is one of his weaker maps, so I can't blame him for banning Crucible. It's also not a map that's played often, and I think a lot of players just don't get the practice on it that they would like to. There's some people I know that like swear by it, that it's really good. There's some people that say it's the worst map ever made. I think the truth is somewhere in between. It's definitely not like if there's gonna be a new Quake game and Crucible is not gonna be in it, I wouldn't cry, but I also wouldn't like, you know, rejoice either. Would be a really good map without the rails, says Fosho. Arguably, yes. I think in general, like, Quake Champions has a problem with the rail, because it's an unbelievably strong weapon when used properly, and that's like one of the subjective things that I kind of don't like myself. I understand why it's that way. I understand, you know, that you can't really just get rid of it all that easily either, but it's yeah, it's just something that I'm not a big fan of. And I don't think just, you know, reducing the damage to 80 from 90, as some people have pointed out in the community, I don't think that would have changed much. You'd need to look at something else. Increase the, like, I don't know, maybe double or triple the weapon spawn time, specifically on the rail. Reduce the ammo. Make it something that's like that you have to really earn. Because the what's it called? The risk to reward ratio for rail is very heavily leaning in the reward part. And those are just my thoughts. Add an extra shotgun instead of rail. The map just doesn't make sense for railing. Kind of. I understand what you mean. It feels weird when you have like these super close quarter maps, especially like one like Crucible, where there's a lot of corridors. There's a lot of dark dungeon like castle, you know. You don't expect those maps to have like so many sightlines that can be abused with the rail. And really, it's abused because a lot of them are just really narrow corners. But anyway, that's like a discussion for another day. Because we are about to witness the grand finals of Naqcl number 13. It is Carson versus Anarchy. Carson, of course, coming in from the thing. I keep forgetting how it's called. Round Robin. He's coming in from Round Robin. That was the group stage with the most victories out of them all. Dropped only one map to Breakage. And he's gonna get a one map advantage subsequently. It is going to be a best of 5. And it's going to be a rematch against Anarchy. We have our picks and bans That. Map number 1 is going to be Clutch versus Ranger. Carson on Clutch on Exile. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm so not ready for this, to be honest. We've seen a lot of ring outs today. Ring outs are fun. Especially when you're making a comeback and you just fall off the map, just like that. I do wonder how it's gonna go for Carson, because I find it very easy to try and dash onto, for example, heavy armor. You get an unlucky rocket from your opponent, and you just end up flying off the map with basically nothing you can do about it, you know? Carson, however, as I mentioned before over and over again, because I can never come up with any new talking points, his fundamentals are good. He should have the positioning to be able to, you know, avoid those kind of situations, and generally he doesn't, you know, mindlessly push into his opponent. That being said, Anarchy, absolutely can play Exile pretty damn well. I think that's also one of his stronger maps. And Ranger is, again, overall, it's just a good pick. There's nothing really wrong with this pick on any map. Anarchy asking for energy. The energy has been granted, has been authorized. Do you have 2 hours more games today? No, this is the grand finals. Also, hey Mo. Nice to see you here. I assume you're getting ready for the LAN in Melbourne. Because day 2 is soon to start. But no, we have just the grand finals. It's probably gonna take approximately 40 minutes, maybe. So immediately after the tournament concludes, I'll probably send the guys over your way, you know. Carson on Clutch. This is scary. This is very, very scary. For Anarchy, that is. Not for me. I'm a Clutch enjoyer myself. And you know what? We're gonna start on Carson playing Clutch, because why the hell not? We don't get to see it often. And now's our chance. Carson already grabbing the rocket launcher, taking the rail as well. As we've seen today, overall, the matches on Exile, they have been very rail heavy. Carson thankfully stopped by one of the pillars, but there was one of those scary situations I was talking about earlier. You engage the dash, and then you start being pushed away, and you can't really stop. Carson's stack is now looking pretty damn strong, but Anarchy's LG even stronger. He does get the first blood on the Clutch. That was 48% LG, but oh damn, it felt a whole lot more. It is Clutch. He's a big boy. He's a big target. Anarchy, he's gonna be able to get the mega health. Loses out on heavy. The rockets from Carson a little sloppy, not connecting, and pretty much free damage being inflicted by Anarchy. Anarchy actually dropping down onto his opponent, getting just a little bit more LG. Rails are not connecting for Carson either. Good move here, in my opinion, by Anarchy to drop down.
Operation is running.
And even so close to death, Carson unable to find the rail to at least make Anarchy refraggable. I think that's one of the advantages that he has in this matchup, for sure, is even if Carson goes down, all he has to do is just do an insane amount of damage. Unfortunate engagement there, even with the shield being engaged. Just did not have the stack to really survive that fight. A good tribal though. Anarchy now quite low on health. He is going to be able to find some of the health bubbles, but is it going to be enough? The heavy armor is not coming up for another 10 seconds. Anarchy's already taking position, but with an escape route in mind. Oh my! That was beautiful. That was actually beautiful. We see yet another ring out. We've been seeing so many ring outs this week. I don't know what's happening. The ice really must be slipperier than usual. And now the spawn frags start happening. Carson, he's locked in. He was given an inch and he took the entire mile. He's gonna hear his opponent actually take the light armor, which is gonna give him the necessary information to already set up for the teleporter exit. Carson now, he's doing a lot of damage. His stack is just insane. 10 seconds until the shield, and I don't think if the shield is gonna be there, Anarchy can really take any kind of a fight whatsoever. As I say that, Anarchy's starting to hit some really good rails. So, despite all the damage being done, Anarchy's not going down. He's just refusing to die. Man so spiteful, he cheats death. Really good rails there. Doesn't actually try to force the shotgun spawn, interestingly enough. Instead, Ops already set up for LG. Heavy's coming up soon, but Anarchy is not retreating. He actually gets floated just a little bit there. And the double back by Carson. Very nicely done. Beautiful prediction rocket there. 100 damage right off the bat. Anarchy now on the retreat. Doesn't even get the light armor to his name. And it's going to be a solid shotgun blast.
Nothing compares to a perfected machine. Impressive.
Carson now playing this really well. Really using the strength of his champion. Had a rocky start. That being said, Exile, it can turn around. There's that shield being used. What is that spawn? Carson completely caught off guard. 39 health, and he might even go down if he's not careful. Anarchy, however, takes a rail to the face. Carson takes a rail to the face himself. Carson is railable. Anarchy? I don't think Anarchy is railable. 9 versus 3 to 3.5 minutes remaining. Anarchy is going to be able to force his opponent off of the heavy armor, and I think this is a pretty big victory for him. Carson now 14 health remaining, is screaming. He's still hitting rails though. How does he do that? Anarchy taking the risk and still trying to go for the rail rather than immediately going for the mega. It pays off as he's able to chain 2 frags pretty much immediately, one after another. But again, that heavy champion stack, it's a force to be reckoned with. Good rockets by Carson. Anarchy comes through the teleporter, misses the second rail. Unfortunately, he really needed that. Carson's armor stack is really scary, and here comes Clutch, full speed. Oh dear. The pit glitch was fixed, by the way.
You cannot match my perfection. You
13-5, 1.5 minutes remaining. It is looking unlikely for Anarchy to be able to get a victory at this point. Just solid performance by Carson. Still, he goes down the pit. Sync has been collecting frags whole day. There's been so many pit kills that, yeah, it's kind of crazy, honestly. But still, Carson, 15 frags up, 20 seconds are remaining. This is just a victory lap for Carson at this point. Let's take a quick look at the stats. 51% rail versus 59%. Both players on pretty much equal LG percent. But I think one of the weaknesses here for Anarchy is kind of showing when it comes to his defensive game. Only 4 out of 6 rockets hit. That's right, he only fired 6 rockets that entire match, and I think that could have been a potentially decisive factor there. Especially, like, we've noticed this before, that, yeah, sure, Anarchy, he goes for... I forgot to make the vote, actually. Oops. The prediction, I mean. Oops, indeed. But, it's yeah. Anarchy, he goes for the Ranger pick, but then ends up for, like, a really long time just not picking up the rocket launcher. And, that could have equalized some of the movement difference between Clutch and Ranger. Because Ranger, he's not all that fast by himself, you know? Anyways, map number 2 is going to be Ruins of Sarnath. It is Naqcl versus Slash. And, well, this I can kind of understand. This is actually a matchup I can understand, you know? Slash on Ruins of Sarnath? That makes sense. You know what doesn't make sense? Death Knight. Magnus Carson, Quake Chess Grandmaster, yeah. Anyways. Predictions are up for the next 2 minutes. This is going to be map number 2. Anarchy versus Carson. Both players on light champions. Always exciting to watch. Anarchy already taking the rail and LG. And then going for the heavy. No split between the items, so we might see a little bit of a dull start, as neither player really would want to commit fully. Carson, he's already lost all of his armor though. As I say, dull start, I eat my words. Anarchy not wasting any time, immediately just hitting stuff left and right. Ooh, exposing himself for quite long there. The Ghost Walk was... No, was it? It was not used. Carson just dropping onto his opponent really quickly. The Plasma Trail was used by Anarchy, but as he's bounced into the wall, it is not going to allow him really to escape. Really good positioning there by Carson, getting onto the Mega at a perfect time. Anarchy still hits the rail. Doesn't matter. Does not really matter. Still a very good stack on Carson.
Do yourself a favor and put the gun down before you shoot yourself.
Rocket jump up to Mega. I don't think Anarchy was expecting that. He had the timing for Mega. But yeah, when your opponent just
To the wrong fight.
Just shows up in your face with no warning, that's not something you can account for, you know. And now the item split is very heavily into Carson's favor. 5-1. He has just enough time to make this rotation. Anarchy, he's already setting up on the outer parts of the map. Actually, an aggressive Ghost Walk coming out. Rails connecting for both players. Dangerous situation for Carson, but he does have the heavy armor to retreat to. I like this move by Carson. Really good move there to go through the teleporter, as he probably knew that, yeah, Anarchy is going to be going for that light armor. Direct rocket to the face of Anarchy, unable to find the finishing blow. Carson is going to get the 6th frag. Make that the 7th. Anarchy, he just tries to force his way onto the rail. He does need the rail. It is a very important weapon on this map. But as he just tries to collect it, he's paying the price of running right into Carson. He is the tax collector of Ruins of Sarnath.
You know why I'm winning? Because I planned it that way.
And on this map, we pay taxes in death. Anarchy now 8 frags down, and Carson, he's still hitting rails. It feels like it's always been doing the entire map. It's 4 minutes. 25 rails fired, 16 hit. That's 64%. And not bad at all, especially on a light champion like Slash, who can be a evasive little creature, you know? Ghost Walk is available in case of danger. There it comes. Oh, and an inside out. Even goes for the rocket jump to try and get a spawn frag. Unfortunately, the spawn that actually Anarchy got was the heavy spawn.
Ghost, you scum, all day long.
And this is really going out of control for Anarchy. This is going horribly out of control. Anarchy is unable to anticipate any of Carson's moves, it looks like.
5-minute warning.
And meanwhile, Carson's just running the map with complete impunity. He's able to deny pretty much everything on the map, starting with the majors, ending with, you know, all the light armors and even some of the smaller health bubbles that would come in handy for Anarchy. Give to Carson what is Carson's, indeed. (13-1). Again, love these rocket jumps. Oh dear, a little overshoot there. But yeah, this is like as I've said like multiple times, Carson, he generally doesn't like to you know, do like show off crazy things, unlike, for example, Effortless, whose pretty much entire playstyle is about having, you know, this ability just to appear at insane speeds at places your opponent never really expects and then just hit incredible shots. Carson's kind of the opposite, but he can play in he can play in a flashier way as well, and we're kind of seeing that right now. Just very smooth movement.
Now you see me, now you don't.
Running the items very nicely. Inflicting damage at every opportunity he gets. Ooh, this is looking pretty dicey for him though. 2 frags now for Anarchy, but 3 minutes. 3 minutes is all that Anarchy has. Can he pull off the impossible? And die, I guess.
If you're looking for a fight, you've got one now.
Still hitting rails. Still hitting rails. The accuracy percent has dropped to only 59%, but 17-2. Given how good were the matches in the group stage, I really did not expect this to be such a blowout. I do have a suspicion that Anarchy doesn't really play Slash all that often. I've never seen him play Slash previously. I do wonder if the matchup unfamiliarity is a potential issue for him here. With Slash, like, yeah, the game, it changes a lot. It really changes a lot. And we have a gauntlet kill for Carson. Dear lord. Anarchy saying LOL in chat. At least he's a guy with a great sense of humor. He may be absolutely destroyed, but he knows how to have a laugh.
We're never going to win.
Warning.
1 minute warning has been sounded. It is 19-7.
Nothing to it.
Looks like it is going to be the victory lap for Carson. Still trying to go for frags, you know, here and there. Anarchy now starting to hit his own rails. Where were they? Where were they for the last 9 minutes? When he needed them so desperately. Will we get to 20? I guess that's the question.
Ride the tiger!
And there we go. It is going to be 19 to 10. And this actually makes Carson the Grand Champion of Naqcl number 13. It's been done. Carson dropping only one map during the entire tournament. I guess there's no dramas, you know, to challenge him today. Very unfortunate. But still, very good performance by Carson. Always a pleasure to, you know, see him play. Man's a bit underrated overall, in my opinion. Congratulations to Carson. It is 3-0, right? So he's the winner. Clap. Clap indeed. Congratulations to Carson. Indeed, well played Anarchy, well played Breakage, well played everyone today. We had some really fun matches. And yeah, it is 1 a.m. approximately for me, and you know what? It's been a fun week. It's been a fun week. We had some good matches here. What's in store next for us? Of course, next week there's going to be a Stody. Yeah, there's going to be next week a Stody that's on Fridays. Naqcl hopefully happening next Saturday as well. I see no reason why it shouldn't be happening. Thanks to our anonymous donor, whoever you are. Highly appreciated that you make these tournaments, you know, have a bit of prize money in there. That's it's always appreciated. Who's writing to me? Somebody's writing to me in game, but I can't see. Like I see. Oh, +228. Okay, never mind. Yeah, we got an anonymous donor. Thank you to whoever you are. Highly appreciated that you're making these tournaments just a little bit more entertaining. And of course, if you're able to get approximately 80 ping to any of the NA servers, you can sign up for the tournament yourself. You can get destroyed by Carson. If Dramas is here, you can get destroyed by Dramas. Or Effortless, or a lot of people, right? Or you can be the one who proves everybody wrong and actually take the title of Naqcl Grand Champion yourself. So, go sign up. There's a Discord somewhere, for show. I don't know if you can paste links. If you can, paste it. Hope that you don't get banned by the bot. And yeah, it's been a great week. Been a great week. What else is going on? Of course, in about an hour or so, we're gonna have the Quachi Cup finals. That's gonna be over at Quachi Cups. Quachi Cups, let me actually shout those guys out and see if they've already started. I'd love to just raid them, but I don't think they've started just yet. Quachi Cups. That's the Australian Quake scene. That's the Australian Quake scene, and in general, like the Oceania region. those guys, they know how to put on a show. Great, great stuff to watch. If it's not like, you know, for me, 2 a.m. almost, you should go check them out. They have some great players. They have some great casters. Good stuff overall. But that's it for me now. I am gonna go do something, and let me find somebody to raid. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope to see all of you next week, and I'll see you around in the arena, maybe. I don't know. That's not my catchphrase. That's something I say in Church of Quake. Anyways, bye for now. Enjoy your evening.